Hello everyone, welcome back to the art tutorial for beginners part 2. In this video, I will show how to calculate statistics by group. To give a brief example of what we were doing here, the data we have been working had rainfall as column values and also date and month and year as column values. So for example, if I have rainfall for many years for each month, and if I want to know what is the average rainfall for month January, so basically what it does is take the rainfall in all the January in all the years and average that. So it's kind of grouping by month. So it can be done for each one separately. So I want the average rainfall for each month separately throughout the years. So this kind of thing is like, it's commonly used. This is not only for this month, this can be used for different purpose. So now I will show you how you can actually do this kind of grouping and apply some kind of statistics like mean and max and others to do so. So let us go to the tutorial code that I have been using throughout the tutorial. And here, the data I have been using is already stored in df variable, which you can see that what is df variable in the code that I have imported the I have read the data like rainfall underscore data CSV. So let us see how actually we can calculate the statistics by group. To give an idea of what was in the df function, df variable. So you see date, month, year, location, ABC, rainfall. So give a like, let's create like a longer list. So you see that there are like months. So after 1 year passes, another year starts. So what we want is take the average of all the January months, which is 1. So take all the values for month equal to 1. So how you can do that? For example, it's not only 1 month equal to 1. Let us do something like, let us average for all the months. So throughout the year, take all the January average, take all the February average, take all the March average, something like this. So one of the common function that I usually use is aggregate. So what I'm doing here is writing the variable name and the interest columns. So in this case, column interest is 4 columns, so 4, 5, and 6. So what I'm doing here is aggregate df, and nothing before comma means take all the rows, and columns only 4, 5, and 6. So I'm asking it to aggregate on these data. And what I'm asking also is to group by the column 2, which is month. And the function that I want is mean. So it's calculating the mean of all the January, all the Februaries. And since there's missing values like NA, so to deal with that, I'm applying something like na.rm, which is na.rm equals 2 is na remove 2 while calculation. So if I run this code and see the head, basically we don't need to see the head, we can see the whole thing here basically. So we see that there's only 12 values. So each of these is the month. So it actually grouped the data by months. So this can be applied to anything else. For example, you have a column with different region name and you want to calculate the average by region. So you can also apply this or use this aggregate function. So let us see how we can calculate row or column-wise statistics. What I mean by row or column-wise statistics is, for example, you want the average or mean value for each rows or mean value for each columns. For example, just look at this. If I want to calculate the mean of all these values, all these values separately, or I want to calculate the mean of all the rows separately. So this is also something used by many people. I also use in many purposes. So for example, there are different ways. In this case, I'm showing 2 ways. One is using the apply function, and another is using the column and row means. So what its apply function does is taking, for example, I'm considering only the column 4, 5, and 6 So df bracket comma and c is a basic convention, like common convention to if you are interested in multiple columns. So you write c and you write the different column names with comma. So in this apply function, if you use 2 in the second as a second attribute, what it means is you want column wise. What do you want? You want mean. So if I apply this, so and try to see what it have, you see there are like 3 values, and these 3 values is basically average of these 3. So if this can be done not only for mean, this can be done for standard deviation. So standard deviation is kind of metric to calculate the variability in the data. So in this case, calculating the standard deviation for each column using SD function. So this is, if I just press this, enter this, you see these are the standard deviation. So there is another function, sorry, the same function, but if you put 1, it is doing the job, but row wise. So basically each row separately is calculating the mean. So let's run this, and it will be a pretty long line because these are like, since there are like a lot of rows, so these are each values representing the mean of each row. As I said, other than the apply function, you can also use functions like column means and row means. So here, what I'm doing here is using the function and writing the data frame and interest columns. And what it does is does the same job basically. It's calculating the column means, like the mean for each column separately. Same thing goes here. It's calculating the row means. So what I've shown here till now is basically how you can calculate some statistics in the data, which is really useful. This is really useful for different purposes, and I hope this actually helps you all. And thanks for watching.